What's going on, guys? Jon Venus here. Today I'm going to talk about raw vegan diets, whether they work or don't work. I do believe that raw vegan diets can be healthy as long as you know what you're doing and you do your research, but it's not as easy as a lot of people make it up to be. It can be, better with a raw vegan diet than a junk food processed vegan diet. And that is one of the reasons why I hate when people generalize the term vegan diet, because it can mean anything. You can have Oreos and Chips Ahoy and Choco Flakes. There are tons of unhealthy vegans who just eat French fries all day. And also, as a lot of you know, there have been, diseases, terminal diseases like cancer that have been reversed with treatments using a raw vegan diet. But on the other hand, it's also been shown that, you can prevent and cure diseases by using, for example, the rice diet. Obviously, I do recommend that everyone includes raw foods into the diet. It's very, very important. Loads of health benefits to it. But it's not only about what the foods you eat, it's how your body absorbs and uses that food that you eat. Some nutrients are actually more absorbed when raw, and some are more absorbed when the food is cooked. For example, carrots. When you cook carrots, you absorb 3 times the amount of antioxidants than if you were to eat it raw. So my main problem with the raw vegan diet is not that it's unhealthy to eat raw foods. It's because there is no evidence that supports that the raw vegan diet is the optimal diet for humans. The studies that do exist out there that I've come across actually do not show benefits, but shows that people eating raw vegan, they were deficient in B12, vitamin D, selenium, calcium, and zinc. So the main problem is that you have to eat a lot of volume, a lot of raw foods to make it work optimally for your health, especially if you're not supplementing on the side. For example, Dr. Michael Greger, he recommends if you're a raw vegan to eat at least 500 grams or half a kilo of dark leafy greens, which is a very, very large amount, and also 50 grams of nuts and seeds each and every day. And also, a lot of people do not recommend children to eat a raw vegan diet because the volume is so big that kids can't really stomach the amount of food that is required for them to reach optimal health. The good thing about cooking as well is that it can boost the absorption by a lot of phytonutrients. For example, what loads of people talk about constantly, beta carotene, that will be absorbed a lot more efficiently when the food is cooked. Another thing that is absorbed more easily into the blood is protein. So yes, raw food does contain protein, does contain amino acids, but it's not as easily absorbed. I'm assuming most people believe in evolution here. 6 to 9 million years ago, humans started evolving, and in the beginning, yes, they were eating only raw foods and basically fruits, vegetables, and some bugs and stuff like that. But obviously, we were an entire different species. We weren't Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens are only 200,000 years old. So in my mind, it is very wrong to compare how we are currently to our ancestors that long ago. Our bodies are not the same. Our genes have changed. Also, a lot of people believe that once we figured out how to cook food, that's when we started, progressing as a species a lot faster. We started using energy more efficiently, because finding calorically dense foods is obviously an evolutionary advantage. And instead of just looking for food all day, we started focusing on other stuff and evolving our brains. Also, if you're thinking about what's natural, a lot of raw vegans do juicing, they make smoothies, and that far ago, obviously I didn't have any blenders or juicers. Blending up stuff, making juices completely changes the rate of absorption and how the food is processed within our bodies. So even that can't be compared to what we used to do. Also, I wanted to talk about sustainability for the world and eating a raw vegan diet. Because of the vast, volume of food that you have to intake, it's not going to be sustainable, because we have to produce a lot of, dark leafy greens and all kinds of vegetables that take more space to create per calorie compared to grains. So obviously, when you're thinking about the human species thriving, it's never going to happen. We're never going to feed the whole world on a raw vegan diet. It's not efficient at all. While on the other hand, if you have a whole foods vegan diet, including grains, legumes, without thinking about politics and corruption, all that stuff, we could actually be feeding, the whole planet easily if we didn't feed the grains to the animals and just went for the source and spread it evenly across the world. So another benefit to cooking the food as opposed to eating raw food or fruits, for example, is that when you're eating fruits, you're eating simple sugars, which doesn't really give you that long-term satisfaction, that feeling of fullness for a very long time. As opposed to, eating grains and other complex carbohydrates, it's a lot more satiating. It digests a lot more slowly, and it just, feeds your body for a longer period of time, meaning that you won't really feel hungry straight after you eat a complex carb meal. If there was proof and good studies conducted that actually prove the raw vegan diet to be the optimal diet for human beings, even then I wouldn't even recommend it. Why? My main goal is to make the vegan diet mainstream, and a raw vegan diet is not going to be appealing to anyone. I remember back when I heard about it the first time, I actually thought that it sounded like a eating disorder, and a lot of people share the same view because it's so different from what people are used to right now. It's not going to convince people to change. I believe that the change has to come as easily as possible. Humans are lazy beings. We want things easily. That's why I even prefer recommending, not for health, but for the transition and reaching the ultimate goal of making the world go vegan, is I would even recommend processed meats, mock meats and that kind of stuff, because it just makes the transition so much easier. Even though it's processed junk food, it still appeals to the general public. The world will never go vegan unless it becomes appealing and it becomes mainstream, because we are lazy and we want things easily and we want things to be very, very tasty. There is no other way around it. We have to satisfy people's addictions. So instead of having people cut out everything from the diet, they just replace something with another thing that is more beneficial for the environment and their health, but it still tastes the same. And if a lot of popular people, celebrities are going vegan and they show that they're eating basically the same thing just from another source, a lot of people will start coming into this lifestyle and things will start changing really quickly. So that's why I support mock meat and all those junk food companies that actually produce vegan options to animal products that aren't healthy. And unfortunately, I just can't see how promoting a raw vegan diet will actually get people to be appealed to. It might work for some, but for the general public, I know for a fact that it will not work. And if you're a raw vegan and you're watching this, this is not an attack on you. I do believe that raw vegan diets can be, healthy as long as you know exactly what you're doing, but it takes more work. In terms of bodybuilding and building muscle, I do really think that you're gonna have a very, very hard time building muscle optimally on a raw vegan diet. Everyone has the right to do what they feel is right. Anyway, guys, let me know what your opinion is on the raw vegan diet. Don't forget to click the like button, and if you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you very soon. Peace out.